Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, beginning to be called ELO-P. So as I go through this, that will be what I'm referring to as ELO-P. This is a program that is funded through the state to provide money for schools and districts to allow or offer before school, after school, and summer school learning programs. There's a focus on developing academic, social, emotional, and physical needs, and offering hands-on engaging learning experiences for the students. There are quality standards that districts have to follow when implementing this program. You can see here 11 different items we have, from safe and supportive environments, youth voice and leadership, collaborative partnerships, and program management. So the programming for ELO-P consists of an educational and literacy element, an educational enrichment element, providing snack or meals to the students, staff meeting a minimum qualification for an instructional aide, and staff training. We have to review program plan every 3 years, provide the safe physical and emotional environment, opportunities for relationship building, and promote active student engagement. And finally, community collaboration, which includes the support of the school site principal and staff. The intent of ELO-P is that all LEAs offer all unduplicated students in classroom-based instructional programs access to comprehensive after-school and intersessional expanded learning opportunities. As a reminder, unduplicated student is a student enrolled in a school or district who is classified as an English learner, eligible for a free or reduced lunch or meal, and is foster youth. This program is currently designed for TK through 6th grade. However, if space is available, we can offer it through 12th grade. So taking a look at our program here in LUSD and what this might look like, we have an implementation timeline set in place for getting an interest survey out to parents to see who would be interested in the program, working with site to get people hired in the positions, ordering the materials for the program, with a hope to start the program in late February, early March. For ELO-P, we are required to either provide ELO-P at a home school for the student or provide transportation. Since Lambertsville does not have transportation, we would be required to offer this program at every school site. This would be elementary schools, and if we are able to expand, it would include the high school also. But as a reminder, the requirements are TK through 6th grade. We would be utilizing the MPRs at the school sites where available, makerspace, library, classrooms, and the playgrounds. The funding is $1.5 million annually and ongoing from the state. So you can see that ELO-P will bring some great programs and benefits to the students here at Lambertsville. Staff positions we're considering as a part of this program are an intervention social emotional learning program coordinator, mental health counselor, new restorative practice specialists, increase in hours for instructional aides, and nutrition services when we would have an increase in hours in summer school. So there is a requirement of this program to extend summer school hours. Educational extracurricular expansion, some areas we're looking at are offering wellness centers at each of the elementary schools, makerspace activities, art activities, performing arts expansion, curricular materials, and sports. And just a brief overview of what a day could look like for the students. We would open the MPR in the morning at 7 o'clock. Students can come there where they would have a home to school transition in the morning, academic support, art, makerspace, be able to have breakfast. They would go through their day. At 2:10 for the younger students, they would get a snack. They would have an opportunity to go through a rotation that would be academics, art, makerspace, and structured play. Each day students would be able to rotate through that so that they would have that available to them on different days. And then you can see the Friday schedule with our early release. We would also be offering it on early release Fridays. One thing I didn't note earlier in the presentation is that the part of ELO-P is that we offer a 9-hour expanded school day. So it has to be 9 hours minimum. The 4th through 8th grade schedule is very similar, although it's just a later release day or release time for the older students at 3 o'clock. but everything else remains the same for the dismissal time. Any questions?
Let me start. So, did we receive those survey results from the parents?
It's going out next week.
Next week, okay. And so I'm just trying to understand this. It looks like a great program. Is it like an after-school program sort of thing?
So a lot of school districts in the county have after-school programs already existing. And so when something's already existing, this works well to continue to enrich and expand an already existing program. We don't currently have what the other school sites have or school districts have, so we are creating an after-school program. While their programs might offer different opportunities or have different requirements, these are very specific requirements that include the academic, the enrichment, social emotional component. So ours will look a little bit different, but yes, it's an after-school program with some requirements that come along with it.
Thank you. And one last question is, what is the eligibility for the students, like who are eligible to get into this program?
So it goes first to our unduplicated students. So English learners, free and reduced lunch, foster youth would get first priority. If we had space above and beyond that, we can offer it to any student at the school site.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Can you go back to the slide with the staff?
Sure.
Yeah, so your restorative practices specialist, it says 4. So are these, oh, it doesn't have the number of staff is this per site or is it generic?
It's overall. So our thought is when we have these positions that we're hiring, we can also use these positions throughout the school day. It's an expanded 9-hour school day. So while a portion of the school day is before and after school, we would have positions available to support students during the school day as well.
Okay.
And those would be shared across the elementary schools.
And then have we also figured out, like, per site, how many students we could accommodate?
It will all depend on staffing.
Okay.
So that's why I'm laying out the time frame. We're taking this slow and steady, and we will see with parent interest what we can get going.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's early, and I didn't know if some of those details were worked out yet. So thank you.
So this is a very large amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's ongoing money. It has to pay for itself. But also the intent seems to be born out of the unduplicated kids going first means that the state is trying to take care of unduplicated kids and have them in a good, safe, nurturing environment where they can grow. In our case, we don't have as large numbers there, but we see it as a possible opportunity to provide things for the community. We're not as much of a commuter community as we were, but it's still a big commuter community. But this didn't come with a lot of specific rules, and how we use the money and stuff. That's relatively vague. So prudency on this is very important, and I want to emphasize what Heather said here is staffing is going to drive what we can accommodate, similar to things that we've done with the voluntary summer school program that we've run already. But if we can't get the staff, we can't run the program, but there's no consequence to that presently. We want to see what we can do. And if there's money left over, we have lots and lots of ideas to expand out and broad. So we'll see how it goes. But we want to be prudent because it's a lot of money, but you want to spend it wisely and you want to set up a program with tight structures. And so lots of work is yet to be done, but these are some big ideas.
Can I just ask a question about you said the rules are loose, but assuming 100% of the unduplicated students say they want to participate in this program, would we be able to?
I would say it would be highly unlikely to be able to staff that many kids.
Okay.
But in our experience, like we have a couple of after-school programs outside, so we have people take advantage of that, and so those numbers aren't massive. So that might be an indicator that we could look at about how many families are taking us up on the Montessori program, et cetera, and get a sense of it. If it helps our unduplicated kids, that would be great. But we want to see if we can build off of the opportunity and expand it to meet as many kids as we can.
I also see this kind of as supporting our first LCAP goal in terms of closing the opportunity gap, especially if we're having some of these unduplicated kids who we have seen dips in their CASP scores.
Absolutely.
Well, my fellow board members asked pretty much all the questions. By the way, great questions, Trustee Daniel. Those are the ones that I was thinking. Yeah. So, but I did want to chime in and say I don't know that much about it. This is a high-level introduction, but I'm excited about what it feels like the possibility might be. So, great job.
Can I just ask one other question? I was just curious in our district, a lot of people often ask, I don't know, maybe district staff gets this question a lot, why don't we have after-school programs? My understanding is it's difficult to get funding when you don't have a lot of unduplicated students because most of the state and federal, or all of the state and federal funding is designed specifically for those students. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. I'll give you a piece of data. This is an approximation, but when the ESSER and CARES money came out, the difference between a high poverty district such as Stockton and our district was we got approximately $600 per student and they got approximately $6,000 per student. So if you apply that to Title I funding, when you apply that to other state fundings and federal dollars, it's always going to be this big gap. So we have a turnip that we get and we squeeze as much blood out of it as possible. And other people have a basket of turnips, and just is the nature of our community.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.